The most influential people are the ones who leave behind incredible legacies and live on in the hearts of people they touch. It's not only their achievements, but their principles and philosophies that have a lasting impact from generation to generation. Francis Joseph Bonasorte, better known as Monk, will forever be remembered within the halls of Florida State. First as a player, then president of the varsity club, to most recently holding the position of Senior Associate Director of Athletics at Florida State, Monk epitomized the garnet and gold.
Everybody loved Monk. If you've been associated with Florida State for any length of time at all, you know who Monk is.
Monk was the greatest ambassador for Florida State that we've ever known. He lived and breathed Florida State football.
He came to FSU from a rough area in Pittsburgh, grabbing a spot as a walk-on to Florida State football in 1977. Through his incredible work ethic, Monk earned a starting spot on Coach Bobby Bowden's defensive secondary.
And when you talk about a guy overcoming odds, again, I mean, this was not a guy, you would look at him, you could put 50 people in a room, and he wouldn't be anywhere near the top in terms of the first guy you choose and say that guy used to be an All-American at FSU. But he was, and that speaks again to his work ethic and his smarts, and just what an all-around good guy he was.
Monk became a two-time All-American and was inducted into FSU Athletics Hall of Fame in 1995 as one of the top defensive backs in school history. He worked in semi-professional sport management before becoming involved with Florida State athletics and returning to his beloved alma mater once again.
Monk's passion for Florida State, I think, roots from the fact that he played here and he played in such an era that they were really putting, Florida State's history and tradition on the map. When you come in here as a coach and you have an administrator that lives and breathes the garnet and gold and understands all the journey that every team's been through.
After returning to FSU, Monk developed a passion for helping student athletes.
It was his family. He loved getting to know different people from different walks of life. He built a great relationship with the guys he played with and then people he worked with along the way, and I believe a lot of the players loved him as well.
Monk's biggest impact was because of the degree to which he cared. You knew that everything that he did, Florida State and the student athlete was foremost. He did not have a personal agenda. It was not about him. He didn't even care about getting credit for anything.
Sadly, at age 58, Monk was diagnosed with several brain tumors.
He fought it as hard as I've ever seen anybody fight it. He didn't stop going to the gym. He didn't stop working out. He tried traditional therapy. He tried non-traditional therapy. He fought and lived every second and moment of his life trying to beat it.
The one thing we told each other is we were not going to let it steal our joy. And so throughout the whole process, we fought hard, and it was a battle. We had hoped that, that he would have the miracle and that this would go away, but it didn't.
He never said he was going to beat it. He just said it was never going to beat him. And it never did, even up until the last days. Anybody who was around him, he was still upbeat, he was still positive, it was still okay, even though it's what took his life.
Despite losing his life to a hard-fought battle to brain cancer, Monk's legacy will long be remembered by this university and in the lives of those he loved most.
It makes you pause. But I loved Monk. And he loved me. And I'll just never forget that. But we had a bond, as he did with many, that was quite remarkable.
I think of him, as I mentioned earlier, he was my knight in shining armor. I think he was noble. He was honest and noble. That's how I want him to be remembered.
I'm Kendra Sheehan for Seminole Sports Magazine.